Swenson.
What's for Mrs. Swenson?
Area.
Swenson, what that is.
So I'll probably go over this today and you won't have to do it till tomorrow. Take out a blank piece of paper and write the word area on it.
Oh, isn't that?
Right. What is area? Ladies and gentlemen, what is area? And why do we need it? Why do we use it? Logan?
It's like a square. Well, it's a shape that
Well, let's start with what you already said. It's always squares, by the way. Okay, but why do we use area? What is it used for?
multiply like the sides.
Yeah, that's how you get it. But what is it? Why do we use area? When would you ever use area? We do use area. Taylor? Okay, that's a great example. If you're trying to putting a new floor in your kitchen and you need to know how many tiles. If you look on our floor here, this is made up of all tiles. Area is when you want to know how much surface something has. How much surface space it has. And we've decided to use squares to show that. Now you have to remember, area is dependent on how big those squares are. For example, you could have a square centimeter and it's only going to be about that big right there. 1 square centimeter. Now for those of you who like to cut some corners there, rather than writing out 1 square centimeter, you can just write it as centimeter with a 2 above there. That means these mean the same thing, square centimeter, square centimeter. Okay, a square inch would be a lot bigger. It would be something like this. And I'll just write 1 inch squared. If we got bigger than that, a square foot would be a square that is, I guess I could try to draw a real, that thing right there. That's about 1 foot squared. Okay.
take off the foot on our paper.
Yeah, you probably can't do it because you don't have, your paper's only 8 inches wide. So a square foot's actually bigger than the paper you can draw there. Now here's what's a little confusing about this. Okay, how many inches are in a foot?
12.
12. Apparently you like to do that. You shouted it out really fast.
Well,
How many, here's what's confusing about area, something just to think about here. How many square inches are in a square foot? And the answer is not 12, because I can tell you right now, I'm gonna draw a square right there. And then I'm going to copy it, if I can. Can I
Copy. Copy. Right down.
Paste.
Paste.
Oh, they paste on top of itself.
They spawn on top of each other. Spawn.
Color complicated now.
That's awesome. That looks awesome.
Are you trying to make it be over there?
I'm not. I'm just trying to make a bunch of them.
This is taking.
Because if you said there were only 12 of them, let me see how many I made here. I'm going to drag this over here. This is pretty close to scale. There's 1, 2,
3.
It's 24.
4.
It's 24.
no, just hold on.
5. 6. 7.
7.
Stop copying.
Pretty soon it's going to be Cabran and Alex will lose their talking
9,
privilege.
10. Oh, it's 10.
That's Cabran. What did I just say? I said pretty soon you're going to lose your talking privileges. I don't mind if you participate, but when you start to monopolize all of the talking, then I have to stop you. Because we should have times for Madison when she might want to talk and say something. Alright, so here we go. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if I drew this right, there would be 9, 10. Wait a second, let me draw 2 more. There should be paste and paste. 11. If I did this right, I should be able to get 12 in just this top row here. My square's a little small, but through the magic of the board, we can make it a little bigger.
Oh, 12 times.
There it is. Oh, Alex! Congratulations. Okay, there are 12 square inches in just 1 row here. how many rows am I gonna end up having, Alex? I'm gonna end up having 12 of these rows. So 1 square foot is going to have 144 of these inches squared in it. And that's a hard thing for people to understand because we're so used to being 12 inches in a foot and all that stuff, we don't catch that. Same thing with, how about this? A square yard.
Wait, yeah.
A square yard is a yard by a yard by a yard. This is close. If I asked you how many square feet were in a square yard, the answer's not 3. There's 3 feet in 1 yard, but that's not squares, that's just whatever. How many do you suppose, and again, let's just think about what we did. Here's my square foot. How many? 1, 2, 3 would fit here. 1, 2, 3 would be there. 1, 2, 3 would be there. A yard, children, is 3 feet on one side and it's 3 feet on the other side. So how many square feet, Landon, would that be?
9.
Exactly, 9 feet squared. So you have to start thinking a little bit that way because it's just going to help you later on. When else do we use area a whole lot? When your parents bought your house or rent your house or whatever your house is, when somebody wanted to tell them how big it is, a lot of times they say it's a 4-bedroom, blah, 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 but they will always give the square footage of it. You'll see on whatever flyer, whatever it is, square feet. Does anybody know a typical house? Some of us live in really big ones, some of us live in small ones. What would you say of a general average size home? How many square feet? Now before you answer that, let's talk about this room. How many square feet would you suppose this classroom is?
Maybe you should count.
I could. If you were just guessing, maybe, Durvis, how many square feet? Huh? Huh? Oh, you're
300 square feet.
300 square feet. Anybody else got it? Caleb? 200 square feet. Madison?
304.
304 square feet. Sammy?
250.
200. Now let me tell you, as a oh, now Maggie's got to guess. She has time to think about it.
Yeah.
You guessing or no? Now she's out of the running again. Let me just tell you, children, usually we guess low, because I will tell you, let me throw it at you, some of you probably already know. I'm going to draw a small version of my room. My room is actually a square, except for that little part that sticks out where the door frame is. If you were to count, by the way, you could count the square footage because actually it's made up of tiles that are a square feet. Each one of those tiles, you look straight down. I was asking you, how many of those tiles would it take to cover my room? My room is a 30-foot by 30-foot square. So Landon, it is,
Yeah, I was probably.
my room is very close to 900 square feet.
I knew that. So an average house should be about 3,000 square.
So if I asked you this, how big an average house is? Alex is saying maybe about 3,000. I would say 3,000 is is a little, no, 5,000 is a huge house. 5,000, some of you might have huge houses.
That's the White House.
No, the White House is probably more than that, but a very big, in Yorkville, 5,000 square feet is a very, very big house, okay? Most of you probably live in a house that is about, Maggie's gonna go with, 2,000 is probably, for today's standards, you guys probably live in a house that's a little bigger than 2,000.
I probably live
Yeah, you're probably in houses that are between 2,000 and 3,000 square feet. Which means your house really is only about 3 times bigger than my room. My room's there's probably a few of you that have a room as big as this as one of your rooms. Maybe you do.
If you have
Maybe you
No.
Now, along with that, how do you find area? And most of you already picked it out. To find area, there's 2 ways. Okay, let's say I've got this thing that is 6 inches by 6 inches. Okay, one way is you could draw it up very nicely and cut into squares. That's going to take you a long time, but let's do it. Let's just do it here. This is 6 inches, so it's going to look a little like this. My inches are a little off.
Only about a square.
Okay, and count each and every one of those squares, which means you're gonna count up and get 36, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 36 squares. Or, the simpler way, we have what we call in math a formula for area. What is the formula for the area? Lana, what do you say?
Actually, I'm gonna ask if I can break it.
Sure. You don't have to ask. Sure, you can. So, formula for area, Caleb,
Oh, I know.
of a rectangle or a square.
Length times width.
Yep. Length times width. And a lot of times we don't write out those big long words, we just go area equals LW. Okay? And of course, like we've always talked before, kids, if they give you a problem about this, you definitely need to sketch out the square. If they show on the book that there is a rectangle or a square or whatever the thing is and it's 5 feet by 7 feet, I need to see that on your paper. I would also very much like to see you say area is length times width, and then you can just do area is 7 times 5, and the area is 35. And please, the answer is not 35, the answer is 35 square feet. So you just need to throw that label of feet with a little 2 above it, that means square feet. Guaranteed it'll only take you a small, tiny second longer to do that. Okay.
Let's give it to me.
Now remember again, I said it's all relative to what size square you use. And if I asked you how many square centimeters this was, it'd be a whole lot more square centimeters, because square centimeters is a lot smaller than square inches. There's like 2.5, so this thing is like 12 centimeters by 18 centimeters, which would be a whole lot. 216, it'd be 216 centimeters square. 216 centimeters square, 35 inches square, because there's a lot of square centimeters in a square inch. Oh, that was exciting.
That was